What a crazy world we live in. Images of black holes with more mysteries being unravelled. Elon Musk trying to be an edgy Tony Stark while trying to get us to Mars. And treadmill VR being funded by everyone. My only question is, where are my robot cat girls? Hello, and welcome back to the Sometimes Serious podcast, where we're sometimes serious all the time. I'm your host, Michael Palmer, and today I'm joined by Philip Edwards.
Hello.
Tom Cornetto Bears.
I do like cornettos.
And our guest and close sort of friend, Reese Tuckfield.
Thanks.
Sort of friend.
Appreciate it.
How are we all today?
Aye.
Good.
We stand cat girls in this house.
Damn straight we do. Now, one thing that I would like to bring up
Is it about cat girls?
Catwalk C VR treadmill.
What?
Yeah. Now, I didn't think you would have heard of this. And on Monday, I found out about it. It's a Kickstarter product, let's say. Someone put it up on Kickstarter because, it's a treadmill you use in VR, so you wouldn't necessarily have to, say, physically walk around your room. It would act like pretty much every sci-fi film you've seen where they're sort of using a treadmill, but not, if that makes sense. Like, I think one of the things that came to my mind immediately was the pilots in, is it Pacific Rim?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it was fully funded within 3 minutes of it being up on Kickstarter.
3 minutes. What's that?
The horn wins again.
It was fantastic to find that out. And the brilliant thing is, its goal was about $100,000.
Okay.
And
Here we go.
it had about 40 days for its funding, and it had already
much did it
brought in
get?
10 times that amount.
But a
People
different kind of
want-
tears.
Different kind of tiers. That we'll come to, but again, just 10 times that amount with 39 days
What was
left in
the
its
funding
funding
goal?
campaign. 100,000.
$100,000.
That's nowhere near enough. That's
No.
He's got
that's
enough
not
though.
even. That's not even a fraction of enough.
No, but if they've already got outside sources for money and they just needed a bit more to top it up, Kickstarter was the way to go, and Kickstarter really was the way to go. They described it as Ready Player One VR treadmill, but its official title is Catwalk C VR. It is what it is. It's exactly what it is, to be fair, and it does very much look like that sort of treadmill that I described. You don't really go anywhere. It's a very smooth surface, so it's more sort of like you're trying to moonwalk without actually having to try to moonwalk. And this is a quote here: Catwalk C is the world's first gamer-dedicated personal VR omnidirectional treadmill, or ODT. A new generation mechanical device that allows for 360 degrees of human motion, creating infinite movement area in VR on minimum physical space in reality. And that's just like a snippet of the description. It's fantastic. I love the idea of it. Absolutely love the idea that, let's say you've got the money to go out and buy a VR headset, you've got the games, and you're just thinking, my room isn't big enough, but it's big enough for a treadmill.
I'm
don't think anyone's thought that way. I've just like,
No,
my
the
room's
thing
not
is,
big
people
enough.
have, because this thing already exists. It's existed for a few years. They're late to the party.
What was it called?
That I can't remember, but I know Steam has one that they're working on. There's an omnidirectional circle thing that you stand in, and it's got a banister all the way around it, like a little railing all the way around it, and you have you're tethered to it. Like there's 4 ropes tethering you to stay in the middle, but you can turn. You got a full 360-degree motion, and you walk in the direction you want to go, and it walks. It's existed for a few years, so they are late to the party.
This
Then
one,
Steam had one.
this one does not rely on 4 ropes, 4 strings.
Well, the 4 strings is to stop you walking out of it.
Yeah, this, however, is you strapped round the sort of stomach area.
Yeah, that's the same thing I'm on about.
Okay. There's no, there seem to be no strings, like there's no slack. It's literally you are held in place by essentially a really thick belt.
I'll see if I can real quick Google it and find it. Because I know this thing exists, and I know it's existed for a while. Because I remember seeing footage of it, and I looked at it and I thought, how fucking dumb.
Well, it's its description was quite long, and goes through all the features and functionalities of the treadmill in really intensive detail. The hardware, according to them, accommodates for recognition of real-world walking, running, crouching, and spinning, leaning over, and more, and is designed with a support frame for your back in order to facilitate safety and comfort. It also mentioned that for anyone curious, gameplay from a variety of titles is set to be made available pretty soon, including Half-Life Alyx. I honestly, I think I would actually burn off more calories than I could possibly eat in a day if I was playing a game like Half-Life Alyx on a VR treadmill.
I was gonna
The
say, like, I
amount
think
of running I'd
that
do.
would probably be some of the best exercise someone could get. Just put them into, like, I don't know, Call of Duty, and have them run around shooting people in VR.
GTA. There you go.
That's the best calorie burner you could get. One, you're burning calories at an extortionate rate, boy, because you're also sweating like all mad as well. You're running around because you've also got a stupid big box in your head. You're gonna be burning calories like there's no tomorrow. Or as the god Weight Watchers, get out, just get yourself one of these.
Well, just think, if this thing takes off properly, if it becomes a main part of VR, then it's going to do what things like the iToy, Kinect, and the Wii just couldn't quite get people to do, and that's actually be physically active while playing games. Because the Wii was fun. Like, I never owned one, but whenever I went around someone's house that did, I always played things like Wii Sports and stuff
Wii Sports
like
was
that.
amazing, man. Tennis.
Yeah,
was
exactly.
I
Wii
love
Sports
Wii
was
Sports
fine.
tennis.
But
Oh,
let's
the only
face
thing I
it,
really played was Mario Kart though.
yeah, see, Nintendo weren't exactly, built and made popular on weird interactive like bowling and tennis. They were built and made popular on things like Mario and stuff like that. So, it was good. And, like you say, you loved the tennis. I liked the bowling, stuff like that. Unfortunately, that would only keep you entertained for what, an hour at tops? And that's when you'd go, okay, let's actually play something. Because it was a nice little gimmick that you did every once in a while when you had a mate round.
Mate, I don't know about you, but I once spent like 10 hours on Wii Sports just playing tennis.
Okay, but I never
I don't
owned
doubt
one,
that for a
so,
second.
an hour when I was around the mates.
No,
Oh,
the
Virtuix
real-
Omni.
Say
One of the
again?
best VR treadmills for shooting games. This huge treadmill allows you to run at full speed, sit, duck, twist, or jump in the virtual world with no restrictions. It's
Okay.
quite common. There's Birdly. There's
I'd never
Virtuix
heard of
Omni.
them.
There's Cyberith Virtualizer. There's
Can they be purchased, or are they
Infinideck.
still in the development phase?
Well, they are all just at like tech shows,
Right.
but that's the thing. This
I
isn't
have
even at that stage yet.
Yeah, I have seen one
No.
before of some lassie playing PUBG, like leaning around corners and firing, crouch leaning as well. But as you could tell, it's just like it's very early phases, like extremely early phase, because it was like what Philip said, it was at a show. They're not out and about. You can't really get them. Only like for testing. That's it.
This whole thing just like it just reminds me of the I can't remember her name, but there was that streamer who beat Dark Souls by playing with the music pad.
You're gonna have to be a bit more specific. The amount of people who have beaten Dark Souls with like I don't know, and
A microwave.
And
That's
an
literally a
eggless.
dude that's being Dark Souls with using a microwave.
Saw a guy do it with a drum set.
that's what I gotta do in the car.
Oh,
I saw someone beat a game with a banana.
Yep, saw that as well.
Oh, didn't someone repurpose those Donkey Kong
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. See now, okay, I didn't know those others existed. I thought this was kind of cool. But there are a range of extra features due to be developed, obviously after certain goals are reached, including like a PSVR adapter. Their last goal though has a ridiculously high amount of $1.5 million with the hopes to introduce haptic feedback to the platform base. Can you imagine you're in a game, and in the game there's an earthquake, and all of a sudden you feel like you're about to fall absolutely on your face because this thing is shaking you like no tomorrow?
Yes, that won't cause motion sickness.
Unfortunately, Philip has had to leave us as there have been several noise disturbances on his end, so we will now be carrying on with just myself, Tom, and Reese. So yeah, haptic feedback, and if you have an earthquake in the game, I believe that's where we were.
Yeah, like I just find it really strange. Like imagine like one guy is just having like some serious lag and someone isn't. So you see someone who's just like basically having a break dance and just shaking it all around, and then someone just looking at him just like, "You're right, mate." Like he's just like having a stroke.
What I just love is like if you could like actually physically experience the lag, so you just feel yourself going like left, right. It's like wait, no, hang on, wait, please stop.
Oh, it's probably one of the worst things.
To be fair,
But-
it's no, you go ahead.
Because I remember seeing like things where it was like these little bits of skin, not actual human skin, but skin you could put on your fingers and on yourself, and you could touch things in VR. I bet you
I saw
someone is
that,
going to
yeah.
run up to someone and just push them like off the cliff.
Oh, can you imagine that? Can you imagine if VR proper takes off and we are playing a multiplayer game and someone comes up and punches you, and all of a sudden in your shoulder the machine has literally just punched you in the shoulder just because someone else did. You just be like, okay, no, I can't do this. I just can't. I'm under attack every day.
Dude, I would even do that. Like I'd go into like GTA or something and just find someone that's like up on the mountain. It's like, oh, this view's great. This will have to just push him.
You know for a fact, like man, like, how many times? See when we were playing like Apex, you don't know how many times I've came across whenever like when you're on the ledge, I just go push him off. Just do it. It'll be a laugh. Push him off. That would, you know for a fact that'll be like day one. People would just go, right, I need to find someone near a ledge, just shove them off, because they'll probably be like admiring the view, like they're in the world. And they're gonna be, best spotted off a cliff.
It's like, oh man, this is beautiful. comes up behind him. It's like, yeah, it is. See you later. Push.
So, someone just comes up to it like a charger from Left 4 Dead and just goes,
See, as great as that would be, unfortunately, let's temper our expectations because just haptic feedback is $1.5 million. However,
Oh, man.
three rounds of early bird rewards have already sold out, each one increasing in price by $100. With the cheaper pre-orders being exhausted, the Catwalk C is now $999 plus shipping. Yet it's expected to be released around October 2020.
Might as well just get a bloody HTC Vive.
Yeah. But to be fair, I mean, this is an entire treadmill. And I mean, the thing looks... I'm unsure on the dimensions. It's a fair size. It's not huge, but it's not exactly small.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you could probably put it on like the centre of your room, because if you put that into the corner, there's how many times do you reckon you just gotta slam your head against a wall?
I was more thinking if you are going to be able to lean or in case of pushing people off cliffs, imagine if you can punch people, you just punch the side and put your fist through the wall or break your fist.
Like, you just run up to someone, it's like, oh god, this is gonna be so good. It's just... Oh!
Yeah.
You take the heads off and your hands just like mush.
Because you know, with like modern VR games, people are already like really just trolly, like walking up behind people and just taking their magazine out of their guns.
I've seen that so many times.
I love that. The first time I saw those videos, I was on the floor laughing. It was great.
You know for a fact, someone's gonna do like an Elder Scrolls like kind of Skyrim type of stick of like reverse pickpocketing, but instead of like, you know, with an item, it's gonna be a hand grenade. The person up there is just going, how did I die? I got killed by a grenade, but I never said there was anyone near me. Because it was in your back pocket.
Like, I would love it if there was like a medieval kind of game like that, and someone just came up, like you had a bow and arrow, you would put the bow back, someone just comes up and just takes the arrow out of the bow.
Also, the one person you're going to have to worry about whenever these things come up, dwarfs, midgets. They'll be looking on the battle.
So what place are you picking? Dwarf. Why is that? I mean, you know, I can
just
take
sprint
it on
past, nicking all the ammunition, just like, nope, mine, thanks.
And if you know for a fact, you gotta get, you know, the radio, so you know, the guy in the wheelchair, mobile command center rolling through.
Mobile command center.
You know, make him a one-man band with a jukebox.
One thing that VR games are not exactly renowned for are loot boxes, thankfully. And it seems APB Reloaded are going the same way.
Wait, really?
Yep. So on Monday, again, APB devs put out a post about the Legendary Beta, and it was talking about how, you know, they've already done their 10th anniversary celebration, and they wanted to make, and I quote, the last two very big announcements that will coincide with that event. To start, we are fundamentally changing our monetization model by removing JMBs and allowing you to rent and obtain legendaries with in-game Joker tickets. Alongside these changes, we are going to start the public open beta for the new engine on Saturday, June 6th. Be sure to read to the end of this post to catch it all. So, my understanding, I've not played the game, but my understanding is the JMBs are...
realise what you were even speaking about, just like APD Reload. No. Oh, it's that free-to-play game that was really bad.
Yeah, that game that when everyone, pretty much everyone played it, the vast majority of people went, no.
One thing that really sort of like surprised me about that game real quick was the first time I played it, like, and you bring up your friends list, like, you can see block list, like blacklist, and for whatever reason, it actually showed the people that I blocked on Xbox. Just came down. I was like, oh, I haven't seen these people in like 7, 8 years. So
Well,
weird.
Going back to people you blocked when you were playing like Halo 3 or Modern Warfare 2.
Exactly. Yeah.
the people that teabagged you so much you just couldn't stand speaking to them ever again.
People that would constantly invite you to a party to be like, "Hey, you alright?" and leave.
That one guy in Halo 3 when you were going to go into our custom games and he kept cancelling the launch by pressing X.
That was me.
Why does that not surprise me? Well,
Hate you. Every time I was getting so excited, the screen went black. Okay, good, no one did it. Back to the main menu.
Yeah.
Someone's getting stabbed.
well, one of the things that they seem to have done with these rentals is there's a bar that you can fill up, and when you filled up this bar, I assume by using the gun, you actually get that gun. That's it.
Okay.
It is permanently yours. However,
Wait, like... Oh, there we go. There's a string of text. Go
No,
on,
no,
fellas.
no.
What was that?
No. It's not a negative, however. It's a strange positive, however. There seems to be a 5% chance that you'll be given that gun anyway every time you rent it.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Seems-
there is a 5% chance when you use one of these tickets, which I'm assuming are the new monetization, to rent this gun, there is a 5% chance every time you go to rent it that the game just goes, have it, it's yours permanently. Have fun.
I mean, 5% isn't a lot, but still.
Yeah,
I mean,
but that's still a chance. Can you get these tickets just anywhere, or are they just like apparently the new monetization? You just get them for just playing the game.
Well, the Joker mystery boxes, JMBs, are the loot boxes, and they're moving away from them because they never guaranteed anything and often resulted in junk rewards that players didn't want. So starting the 24th, which has obviously already passed, if you want to speed things up, you can directly purchase bundles of Joker tickets from Armus, which I'm assuming is their store, at a rate of 100 G1C. I assume, again, that's the in-game currency. Like I say, I don't play this. For 500 Joker tickets, and that's the smallest bundle. Looking through here, the largest bundle is 25,000 Joker tickets. So it ranges from 500 rentals to 25,000 rentals, assuming that it's a one ticket per rental basis. Okay, it's actually meant to be a bonus 1% chance at a permanent legendary gun from the entire pool for each 500 Joker tickets that you purchase this way. However, it seems to be a bit of a mistake that it's actually 5%. So maybe anyone listening and watching this
hop on that right
that
now.
plays, hop on there now and take advantage before they fix that. Because as far as I'm aware, they haven't yet.
Just spam every legendary.
Yeah. But they're finally ready also to open the beta client to everyone on PC, I believe. So the first beta will run from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday, June the 27th. And there'll be...
At time recording.
Yeah, at time of recording. I have 2 districts available to use. I just thought it was good. We've got one game actually removing loot boxes and doing things in a fairly decent way. I mean,
It honestly
in the grand
feels
scheme of
strange.
loot...
It honestly feels strange that a free-to-play game that has been received quite a lot of backlash and not many people play it have actually made their monetizations a lot more friendly. It just feels extremely strange that it's just like, yeah, if you get one of these, you just have a chance of just keeping it forever.
Yeah.
And the chances of it is still high by, free-to-play standards and just normal game standards.
Well,
Because
yeah, that's...
most games nowadays, like Black Ops, Black Ops or Call of Duty with their supply drops, if you want to get a gun, it takes like less than 1% that you'll get a gun. And here they're just
Well,
like, yeah, you can choose a gun, and you can have a chance of just keeping it.
I play a pretty weeby game on my mobile that I do
Of
my
course you do.
dailies on every day, and it's pretty much a gacha game. And the percent chance, because 5-star is not even like top tier, 10-star is top tier, but you need loads of 5-stars to be able to get there. And the 5-star drop rate is just over 1%.
Oh man.
Yeah. You've got,
So it's
you've got like a
stupidly rare.
78% chance of getting a 3-star, and a 3-star can't even get up to a 5-star. Like, you get one of these characters at 3-star, they can't be a 4 or a 5-star. If you get a 4-star, some can be a 5-star, some can even awaken to a 6-star, but not all of them. So you want a character that can get to 10 stars, you got to find a 5-star character that can do that. And your chances of getting that without outright purchasing it using like in-game currency or real currency to get in-game currency is just over 1%. So and when the event's on where it's like increased drop rates, it's just over 3%.
That's
So
crazy, man.
That's
Yep. And for a free-to-play game that's dropping loot boxes to go, hey, an inherent 1% chance for you to unlock a legendary weapon whenever you get 500 tickets by purchasing in-game,
by any chance
it
is
just
this a
seems
mobile?
like a no-brainer. What's that, APB?
Yeah, no, the game you're on about. By any chance is that a mobile?
Oh, yeah. My
Yeah,
game, yeah, it's a mobile game, yeah.
I was gonna say if that is not a mobile game, how is no one talking about this?
No, it's a mobile game.
That would make
it's a little weeb
Activision
game.
blush. That would
Say
make, like,
again?
that would make Activision blush. Got Andrew Welts go like, mate, why are we not doing that? That sounds like brilliant.
Don't give him ideas.
Yeah. Don't point them in that direction, please don't.
It's like, hey, every time you purchase our Call of Duty Battle Pass, you have a 0.1% chance of getting this gun.
Tom,
Oh.
stop giving them ideas.
Please don't. I went on to Modern Warfare. There's a gun in there where it's basically they just like shoved how much death they could throw into this thing, and it's like a mobile A10 Warthog a man can just carry. It's just like, yeah, that seems fair. Wouldn't be surprised if that thing doesn't fire explosive rounds.
Well, speaking on drop rates, and I know you're not a fan of these types of games, Reese, but Diablo 4 news.
Ooh. Okay.
So, today is Saturday, the 27th of June. Yesterday, a Diablo 4 update was given by Blizzard, obviously. It's not going to have been given by EA because, I think it's safe to say we're more than 10 minutes in. Fuck you, EA.
Fair enough, yeah. Honestly, EA they're so bad.
Stop crying about the bloody devil horns.
I mean, let's face
No one
it,
cares if you can't get a date.
Activision isn't exactly that much better, but, let's just...
The thing is,
let's-
I think
let's not
Activision
get
is
into
debatably worse.
Let's not get into that. Let's leave that alone. Let's just focus on Blizzard developing Diablo 4 for a minute because
Yeah, let's
fuck
just focus on
EA.
that.
So I found this on PC Gamer, and a new Diablo 4 update offers a fresh look at what's going on with Blizzard's upcoming demon hunting extravaganza. Or you could have just said isometric ARPG, which
Which would have been
continues to
easier,
make progress. Recently underwent some early play testing despite the challenges introduced by the pandemic and all of that. Now, I do apologise if anyone hears me sniff. Allergies are the worst.
Hey,
Now-
people, my dude.
I was gonna say something completely different, but let's go for that.
Let's say allergies. It was allergies, officer.
Just every 5 minutes he just sniffed. That's another line. Just like
No.
cocaine just sniffed up.
It's allergies.
It's allergies,
Alright.
officer. It's allergies.
It's allergies.
Wink.
That's not cocaine.
The
That's right.
update doesn't include any major announcements. So it's no release date. It's not them saying, "Hey, we're this far through." They're not suddenly going, by the way, we think we're going to tell you it costs this much, or we're expecting this, that, and the other. It's just a small update, and the fact that it was some very early play testing. However, it does reveal a bit more about the underlying systems and how it's going to approach multiplayer stuff like that. Because I mean, playing Diablo 3 multiplayer, it was all co-op. There was a little arena you could fight each other in, but there wasn't any point. You didn't get anything. So they said Diablo 3 relies on UI panes with a character's name and portrait for conversations with NPCs, which it does. But apparently Diablo 4 will take a more complex approach with both auto-generated and manually choreographed, quote-unquote, chatty bits. So Blizzard said, for simple interactions with NPCs, we bring the camera in closer to the characters while still maintaining an overall isometric feel, and use a library of animations to deliver the general gist of the conversations. For more complex conversations, we take a similar camera approach, but here the characters' movements and animations are more deliberately handcrafted. This lets us deliver story moments that are complex while keeping you in the world as much as possible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty interesting.
No, that sounds just quite good.
So, obviously, this being Blizzard, they are very much well known for their rather fantastical cutscenes. Let's face it, the intro for Diablo 3 is still one of my favourites.
Oh, it's
I
incredible.
love that thing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful. And they're still going to be doing real-time cutscenes and other bits like that, so we'll still get some absolutely gorgeous Blizzard material here. But with the real-time cutscenes, obviously it'll be in-game engine rather than just engine at its best in instance. The approach will enable a more personalized experience, as your character will appear with whatever armor and weapons they have equipped, and they'll also display at your current resolution and graphical settings. So, if you're going to play on a potato machine, expect it to look like a potato. However, it will be a very shiny potato, I can promise you that.
It'll be a gorgeous potato. It'll be one beautiful potato. Of your own potato. Your own custom potato.
It'll be your own potato with its own potato peelings. It'll be fantastic.
You know, people, and you can't get your own potato nowadays. It's really hard to get your own potato.
Rare commodity indeed.
Really hard. Really hard nowadays.
They did say on the multiplayer side that their broad goal was to include elements of shared worlds without going whole hog into MMO territory. The idea being that if you see another player roaming around too often, the world starts to feel less dangerous. What they actually said was, dungeons and key story moments are always private, just the player and their party if they choose to have one. Once story moments are complete and towns turned into social hubs, you'd run into a few people in town. While on the road, you'd sometimes run into a player here and there. And then finally, if you went to a location where a world event was happening, you would see a larger congregation of players trying to defend against an attack by a cannibal horde or trying to take down a Shava, the demonic world boss we've shown at BlizzCon.
That's cool.
They also emphasise that coordination is helpful, particularly during world events, but it's never necessary to join a party, meaning that you can just drop in and drop out at your own will. So you can go and help and then just be done with it. You don't need to worry about first name basis or having to, connect to someone, all of that. It will literally just be you pop in, you do your thing, and then you leave after you got your reward.
I'm all for that.
Quote,
That's really good.
Yeah, their exact quote here was, "We think the seamless approach to multiplayer is working well, and we look forward to sharing more about this approach with you. In our tests so far, the world feels alive and dynamic without compromising the feel of Diablo. And for players that do want to party up against the minions of hell, we have new tools available to find a group, whether by activity or proximity in the game world." So they really do want it to be as quick as possible, because it's all very well, like with Diablo 3, it's all very well being sat at the main menu, say, waiting for Tom, or I think Philip was actually the last one I played Diablo with, to join, and then going in or being there and just going, okay, well, I'm not going to walk into this dungeon yet because you've got to spawn at town and then teleport to me and all of that. This time it is literally going to be, bam, you're in.
Ah, good, good.
It's just very helpful, isn't it? Just cut out
Yeah.
filler of just loading it and then I've got to teleport to you or run to you. It's just you
Yeah.
spawn right next to them.
Yeah, it should be a case of bam, you're there. However, yet again, it was reiterated that this won't be out soon, quote unquote, not even Blizzard soon. So it's still a long ways off. This is just the incredibly early stages, the first playtest, probably just to make sure the engine actually works as intended. So all of this is just what they have as a solid idea that will be implemented, just not refined yet.
Yeah.
And obviously they still have everything else to work on.
I don't think it will surprise anyone the fact that it's not coming out anytime soon at all.
Yeah. Not surprised. Well, that's kind of the thing of like all the other Blizzard games is they're not really coming out very soon. They're years away.
Yeah. But I'm glad you said that, because one thing that is not years away is the next generation of consoles. Now, we had Sony's event, their reveal.
Their router,
We
their
talked about
Skybox
that.
reveal.
Yeah, let's not talk about the design choice, because I
The
don't
kebab
even
reveal.
want to know what they were smoking when they thought that one up. But, in case you hadn't heard, good old Phil Spenser came out talking about their event, talking about the PS5. And to kick this off, to quote him directly, just being honest, I feel good after seeing their show. I think the hardware advantages that we have built are going to show up as we're talking more about our games and frame rates and other things. Spencer
was
already
very-
throwing shade.
He's already very confident.
It's like
Yeah.
it's weird because like this generation is going to be difficult for me to pick a console because
Yeah, because you normally get all like you have like a PC, you have an Xbox and a PlayStation
Same.
and a Switch.
Same.
Yeah. But it's like I absolutely loved the the exclusives that were on PS4 this generation.
Yeah,
Like,
I was.
There were
really
a couple
tempted
duds,
just to
but majority of
buy.
them I loved. And obviously, like there were some exclusives that I loved for Xbox. I adored Gears 5, absolutely adored Gears 5. But it's like the next generation of consoles is going to be so much more difficult because I do believe, I trust that Xbox are gonna eventually go, okay, here's some first party games, and they're gonna be good. But it's the fact of I'm okay to wait for the Xbox. The PlayStation, and again, it all depends on price. But the PlayStation, I might get first, just simply because. Not gonna lie.
You're a filthy weeb.
Exactly. And I want to play those anime games at 4K, 60 frames per second, baby.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. It's just like, so why are you getting, the Xbox? Well, I'm just thinking it's gonna be like a nice generation jump. It's got my other games, my friends all have it. Tam, what do you want? Big titty anime girls.
That is Tom's aspirations in life is just to have the biggest harem that ever existed.
I thought you were going to say that Tom's aspirations in life is just to have the biggest titties.
I mean, those two, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just getting. That's the only reason I'm getting big titty anime girls and probably Persona, whatever. Like the next Persona game or whatever. If it's
Next Persona game will probably be next generation.
The next
Considering
Persona
how
game,
long-
won't be for a very long time.
Yeah.
But he did say, and to quote, "We got more clarity on what they're doing at their show, which just helped us focus in on more of what we have, and I think that will be a strength for us at launch. I think we're in a very good position. And he also said, I thought they do what they do very well, and they did that. Which is such a polite way of saying, "Ah, sit down."
I really
It's
have hope for Xbox this generation.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off there, but I really have hope for this generation of Xbox. And it does look very promising. They're not going to be the laughing stock of this generation, especially the launch. I don't think they will be.
but they're still not going to win on their console sales.
Yeah.
I say that with utmost confidence because, I do talk a lot about it with Philip and that, and we both came to the same conclusion because they're not focusing on the console itself. They're focusing on their services.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which I think is an incredibly smart move.
Yeah, it's a smart move that they are focusing on their services, their software side of things, rather than trying to push the Series X as hard as they can. I mean, okay, we all know why they lost this generation, and that was down to one man and one man only. Let's never forget that. However, everything that they've done since has been absolutely the right call.
Mhm.
They have stumbled a few times, but it has always worked out to be the right call. They are focusing more on their, game streaming, xCloud, and they're focusing more on being able to do crossplay and stuff like that. Their Game Pass, that's the name of it. I almost called it Game Preview.
I
Very
mean,
much wrong.
Oh, they've got that as
Yeah,
well,
they
game
do
preview.
that too. But yeah, that's what they're focusing on, especially with them pushing for the whole. You buy it on one, like let's say you buy something on the Xbox One, you're going to have it on the Series X, and I like that because then there's no massive hurry to rush out and get it. Don't get me wrong, the moment it releases, I will be going and getting it. I will be down there going, give me my damn box, because I want
Give me
it,
my
and
damn
because
mini
I've saved the
fridge.
money for it. Say that again?
Give me my damn mini fridge. I want one
Yeah,
of them.
give me my mini fridge.
I want a mini fridge. It's been too hot lately.
Yeah,
Come to
I
Scotland.
just want to live in a freezer. It'd be nice. But I was having a conversation with another friend the other day, and we were talking about how the PS5 had also shown that it was going to have a digital-only version.
Mhm.
Now, assuming the Series X does the same, I said to my friend, who I must say, this friend of mine, he is very much a physical game owner. He much prefers to have the discs, the cases, and have a physical library of games, which is fine and fair enough. I get it. I'm used to be very much the same. However, digital is so much more convenient.
It's so
And
much easier.
I also, funnily enough, don't plan on breaking terms of service to the extent that I'm going to be permanently banned, So it's not like I'm planning
Yeah.
to lose my entire library.
Just getting like digital games as well, it's so much easier because you don't need to worry about losing them. Because as long as you've got
Exactly.
your Xbox account, you've always got them. Since I've lost the Crew 2, that's disappeared. That's fucked off somewhere. I have no idea where that's went. That's went walkies.
It took me about 3 weeks to remember that I had put some of my Xbox One games in a cupboard, in a box in a cupboard. I went to go play Divinity Original Sin, and I was like, I know I've got that on disc. Where is it? And about 3 weeks later, I was like, oh yeah, it's in the cupboard, isn't it? I had to move half the cupboard just to get to it. It'd be so much easier if I'd had it digitally. So I said to him, I'm going to get the digital edition. He asked why, and I explained that very point. It's a lot more convenient. Also, if the console itself is cheaper for the digital edition, why would I go for the one that can play discs? It's going to be very... I mean, if I don't get the disced version, I'm not going to be buying discs anyway. It's very rare that I buy discs now. I recently picked up Borderlands 3 from my local supermarket for a tenner. That's literally the only reason I got it on disc, was because it was a tenner.
I think
Which
the
like
last disc
like
game I bought was Monster Hunter World, and I think that was like 2 years ago.
um the benefits of obviously having disc games is the fact that they do go down in price very quickly,
Yeah.
and that like digital games are always going to be more expensive at release than physical games.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why like 9 times out of 10 I will get a game on the PS4 on disc because I would have to spend as much on a disc as I would have to on a digital.
Yeah.
Um, but since I've been on Steam, and obviously like my PC is just digital, like it doesn't have a disc tray. Like I've just been getting digital games like every time. I'm like, yeah, yeah. I think this is me now.
It's just
Yeah.
like I'll still get the disc next series, mainly because one, it will just be nice to have, like, I've still got options to get a disc version or just get digital, and also so family members, when they buy me a disc game, I don't feel bad to say I can't play this.
Yeah, exactly. I get that. It's a nice option to have. It's just convenience is
Mhm.
such a high priority nowadays. I mean,
Hmm.
for the first time, starting last year when I moved into this house, I actually had internet that I could go, don't worry, guys, I can download and play that today, not 3 days' time. I can look at a game and go, wow, it's 100+ gigs. Don't worry, give me
That'll
three
be done in
hours.
like yeah.
Yeah. Instead of going, oh, it's 100+ gigs. Well, I'll play it on the weekend. It's what now? Monday? Yeah, cool. Play it Friday with you. You know. So it's nice to have that. If
It's also
the
just
series,
nice, and like sorry, but like it's also just nice to just be able to like, look at a game and buy it and then play it the same day and
Yeah.
not have to wait for it to arrive the next day.
Yeah,
yeah,
because instead of like back when like the 360 and PlayStation 3 days, where it's just basically you saw a game, you could just buy it and play it the same day. I
yeah,
miss that. Just like instead of like okay, you want to get that game, you're gonna have to buy it, wait for it to come here, or you have to go out and get it yourself, then come back and then install the thing.
There are
but
some games. Go on.
I was going to say, but take it back even further, just back to the PS2 days,
Mm-hmm.
purely because I remember back then being in school and like going on the train, going to the next town from where I lived, going into game, and then picking up a game.
Oh,
And my journey back on the train was literally me flicking through the booklet, reading
yes,
that.
yes. Like I always took a bus to and from high school, and like there was a Blockbusters on the route, so I would walk to my bus stop. But like 9 times out of 10, I would leave early so I could just go into Blockbusters and just have a look at the games. Maybe pick up a game, buy it, put it's like stick it in my bag, go to school, show everyone what I've got, go home, play it.
That
Yeah,
was like the best feeling as well when you were like on the ride home from like game or wherever you got a game. You're looking at that box, or you're looking at the back of the box. You open it up. You're looking for the manual, see if there's any codes you can find. That was the best because you just got excited. You got pure giddy with excitement, just buzzing to play the game.
yeah. It was nice doing it that way. And okay, when you've got it on disc, back then you didn't have to install it, so there's no waiting around. You literally did buy it, get home, play it. It was wonderful. And I get installing it. But yeah, digital is far more convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-ordering is not a good practice in terms of consumer practices. It's not a good thing to do. It leaves you very vulnerable as a consumer because you either have to put a massive amount of faith that a game will be good, and then hopefully it is, but you
I've
do run
only
the risk of it
pre-ordered.
being shocking.
Yeah, I've only pre-ordered one game in my entire life, and that was State of Decay 2. That's it. I only pre-ordered that mainly because one. I was like, it's just gonna be State of Decay 1, just better. I liked the first one. Why not? I'll just get this one.
Yeah, and again, it's perfectly. That game itself was pretty much a guaranteed, good game. However, like Anthem, people pre-ordered it, didn't they?
Yeah,
Certain people.
Shut up.
And it was objectively bad.
Spent 80 things in that fucking piece of crap.
Exactly. Don't. Pre-ordering is a bad thing to do consumer-wise. However, the convenience of it is unrivaled. The moment you pre-order it, you get to pre-download it. You can't play it until it releases unless someone really cocks up on their end. But you then, on the midnight of its release, you have that game available.
Yeah.
You get to play it the very second it's released, assuming there's no day one patch. And you can then just jump in and you are there playing it with everyone else that's pre-ordered it. So digital version of the console might actually be the way to go.
I think a lot of people are going to get the digital only version of the consoles. But there's going to be one thing that I'm going to miss, and it's already kind of died out, and that's midnight releases. Where you go to the shop and you pick up the game. Everyone's there, like the atmosphere's amazing. Everyone's excited. Everyone's talking. Sometimes there's cosplayers. Sometimes there's things that the stores do for events. Like, I've only been to like 3 or 4 of those, but they were incredible each time.
I've never been to one.
I went to one, and it's the only midnight release that I've ever been to, and it was for Skyrim.
Ah, dude, I would have
And you know
that.
what? I didn't realise there were that many people that lived in that town where I lived then that played Elder Scrolls games. I got to speaking to about almost 10 different people. I know I say that like it's a massive amount, but for someone who just does not go out like me, that is a massive amount. And I got speaking to about 10 different people where I was just like, I'm glad it's not just me that feels this way about the Elder Scrolls. Yes, they are amazing games. I love them. My view has somewhat changed since playing Skyrim, but that's my own thing.
I was going to say, don't people really not like Skyrim?
Yeah, but that was before I'd actually played it, so I was there loving the Elder Scrolls, and it was lovely being able to speak to people. I've never been to any of the big gaming events. I've never done any of that, but that midnight launch was fantastic, and it was great just standing outside in the slightly wet, bitter weather, talking to all these people who are just as enthusiastic, if not more so than I was about it. And then all of a sudden, you just hear the lock of the door click, and you're like, right, everyone, that's it, we're queued, we are ready.
And then
you
just like a massive cheer came on, everyone was cheering,
Everyone went in, they had everyone's orders already bagged and labelled with their names, and we all picked it up, and literally every single person just said goodbye to everyone on their way out, and I just went home. You played it for a few hours or until you just dozed off with the controller in your hand being roared at by a dragon. And yeah, it was great. It was great. I loved it. I do miss it. I haven't done it since.
And like, I think it's one of those things that is going to slowly die off.
As you say, it already has.
Yeah,
It already has started dying off massively.
I think the last really popular midnight release, I could be wrong, but I think it was Fallout 4.
Okay.
I don't even know about that. I think it was a Call of Duty, the last one, but then I think the last Call of Duty that did have a midnight release, they cancelled because it was Infinite Warfare, and no one was buying that.
No, only a certain host mug here was the one to buy that, and then realised that they shouldn't have. But never mind.
Let's be honest.
Now,
the only reason why people got it was just because they wanted that Modern Warfare remaster. That's the only reason
they
they got it.
that a couple of years later anyway.
Yeah, let's I'm glad I didn't pay for the bundle that gave the Mod War remaster because I was game sharing with someone else at the time and they did that for me. So
That was like
Same.
what,
Thanks.
80 quid?
yeah,
I
So we
I'm,
split
I'm
it.
glad they did it. I didn't want to spend that much money on it. But we've only got 2 more topics to cover, and on the subject of something costing 80 quid, we have more rumours of the PS5 pricing, and I'm only going to cover this quickly. I only want this to be a quick thing because the supposed launch for the PS5 in Japan is meant to be November the 14th, and the global launch is meant to be November the 20th. Now, these leaks need to be taken with an ocean's worth of salt because nothing has been officially said yet. However, the source is at Iron Man PS5, who is notorious among the PS5 fan community for offering up numerous leaks and rumours about Sony's hardware, previously known as PS. It's either PSE Rebus or PS Erebus. Was a frequent Twitter poster, made unsubstantiated claims about next-gen consoles in the past. So, like I say, an ocean's worth of salt with this one.
Yeah.
But the disced version of the PS5, they are saying will cost, for us, I'm going to do it in pounds because we're British, and yeah, everything else is always done in dollars. So yeah, we'll do it in pounds.
£1,000, isn't it?
Yeah.
There.
Now, the
How much?
PS5, the disc version, they are saying will be £449, which, let's face it, that's not too bad.
That's less than I was expecting.
The digital version will be £349. Now, I
Actually
don't...
Not that bad. I thought it was expecting them to be like 600 to 700.
Same, but we've had other leaks that have said that it'll be up at about that amount. So let's sort of like just remember these are all just leaks and unsubstantiated claims. This is nothing official. However, what they have also done is made a list of all the accessories we saw at Sony's show. So we saw the controller, the charging station. Did we see an HD camera? We saw an HD camera, yep. And the headset, which is the Pulse 3D headset, and the remote control, plus the vertical stand. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to come with the console or not. Just by the design of the console, I think it will. So I'm going to...
It should come with it.
Yeah.
We can't sell that separately within it.
Well, I reckon they'll sell it separately, but it'll be sort of like the only thing that people buy as a replacement rather than they have to buy it alongside the console. I reckon the console will come with one anyway. So I'm going to read these out, and they've also done a pricing for the Miles Morales Spider-Man game that they announced. So,
Okay.
yeah, that I will say, Sony did say that Miles Morales Spider-Man game, it was either Sony or the developer, I forget which one, actually corrected the other, where the Spider-Man game is not an add-on to the Spider-Man game that came out for the PS4, nor is it a standalone game. It's somewhere in between. So, it's not going to be a full £60. It's going to be less than that.
Okay.
Well, here are the leaked, unsubstantiated claim prices. So I've just 2 consoles. The controller will be £54.99. I'm actually just going to round these up for the sake of ease. So £55. The charging station will be £25. The HD camera will also be £55. Now, this one made me laugh and cry at the same time. The rumoured price, the leaked price for the Pulse 3D headset, £129.
Oh.
Yeah. The PS5
That's
remote will be £25. The vertical stand will be £17, and the game will be £30.
Hey, that's not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Now, again, obviously, pinch of salt, all of that. I keep saying that just because I don't want anyone listening to this to be under the assumption that these are official at time of recording. They are not. These are all rumoured. That's it, just rumours. But quick maths. You're looking at over £600 just to get yourself a console, a PS5, with all the bang.
It puts in the picture how much it really costs when you total up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder how much the new Xbox is going to cost.
Well, that's the issue we have. Every time a console comes out, neither one wants to be the first one to say. Because the first one that says is generally the one that loses, because the other one is going to look at it and go, okay, can we cut lower than that?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I've spent the vast majority of my time on Xbox. I've done the most work. I've enjoyed it. It hasn't felt like work, but I've got a lot of G to my gamer tag. So, Xbox is where I'm going to go. I'm going to be buying the Series X before anything else.
But I will be getting Series X as well, but not as soon as you are. I'm going to probably wait a year, maybe two, until I get it.
Which, to be fair, is incredibly sensible, because hopefully by then the price might have dropped slightly, and, all of the kinks that they'll have at launch will have been ironed out. I'm just happy to go through that, because then you get to sit there, we get to sit in a party together, and I get to go, they've got this issue and that issue, and you get to sit there chuckling, going, ha ha ha, that'll be fixed by the time I get mine. Hopefully, yeah. But I'm happy to do that. I know what I'm getting myself into. So I have actually physically, not in a bank, actually in my house, saved £600 for the next console, because I am expecting it to be that much.
The only reason why I would probably want to buy a Series X at launch is to play Halo Infinite, but then I realised Halo Infinite's coming to this gen as well.
Yep,
so
with their entire program.
No reason to buy a Series X within the next 2 years, because Cyberpunk is coming out for this year, and so is Halo Infinite. I'm happy.
Please don't remind me. We've already covered how Cyberpunk's been pushed.
But I cannot wait for Cyberpunk. Oh, man.
Cyberpunk, when that comes out, you won't need any other game to play. That's you done.
Well, I still haven't finished The Witcher 3, but
the thing is,
excuse me.
Can you customize your own penis?
No, but you can on a Conan.
No.
Don't. That's for story time.
See if I can. Can I make my pistol a shotgun, and can I call it the Lost Cannon? If I can, game of the year.
Hold on. That has some very Dusk Till Dawn vibes about it.
I was thinking that.
Have you been speaking to Quentin Tarantino again? Is this what's going on? You're just banging heads together to come up with these ideas. I am so disgusted that I even made that joke.
I don't even know what Dusk Till Dawn even is.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. I'll forgive you, but watch it.
Yeah, watch it.
I say it's a great film. It's a great silly film. Watch it.
Oh, okay then. So
This series is
very
much, but the film's good.
Okay, so enough from shotgun cocks. What else?
And cocking shotguns.
It's about vampires, but it's very silly.
Very silly.
It's got Clooney in, and as usual for a Tarantino film, he's also in it.
Why not?
Well, yeah, he does that. He it's never lead role, obviously, and it's never. I say never. Sometimes it is just background character, but Dusk Till Dawn, he is very much a noticeable character.
Alright then. Sure, should we continue on with
Cyberpunk? Yeah, let's get back on topic here.
Let's talk about Quentin Tarantino being a vampire.
Let's get back on topic instead, because I'm sure he is a vampire anyway. But
not blood in his movies.
He doesn't suck blood; he sucks toes.
Anyway, someone corrected the at Iron Man PS5, someone corrected him saying that the actual prices for the PS5 console models would be $499 and $399 respectively for disc and digital. However, again, these are all just speculations. There's nothing else to it, and I mean, $499 and $399 do seem more in
Acceptable.
line with the prices, yeah, because they're normally a pound under or a penny under the
Yeah.
whole 100 rather than the 50. So, you know, I'm like I say, I've saved up 600 for the Series X. I'm expecting it to be anywhere between 5 and 600.
Yeah.
So
it probably
expect
won't
that.
be that much. Probably.
Hopefully.
The thing is, yeah,
Fingers crossed.
because I feel like Xbox, they're quite consumer friendly, and I don't think they would go 600 high.
Well, I think there will definitely be there will be about the same price as a PS5,
Yeah.
and I expect the PS5 to be between 5 and 600, just because they seem to be very confident for this upcoming generation. So I reckon they'll be putting the price tag up a little bit. But
I just don't understand how you can be confident with that mold design.
hey, they're not confident on the design, they're confident on their series of exclusive games, of which I have to say, as a hardcore Sony fan, they seem a bit meh to me. But
I still want a PS4 just to play Bloodborne. That's the only reason I really want one. War.
no, I've got a PS4, I still don't have Bloodborne.
Same.
Okay, what the fuck is wrong with you two? The only
I
reason
got
why
it
I
for
would
Persona.
just-
I got it for
mine
Wii
Neo
games.
Automata. But then it came
You
to
got it for
Xbox
Wii
anyway.
Yeah, it came to Xbox anyway, and it's on Game Pass.
Which, to be fair, that happened with like a lot of Japanese titles. They just went to Xbox sooner or later.
Well, when I got the PS4 and I saw Hellblade, I got that, and then it came to Xbox, and I got it again. I don't get it now. But anyway, we'll move on from the PS5. That's all we had to say about it. We ran a lot longer on that than I actually wanted to spend on it. The last thing I wanted to bring up, and it is a shame that Philip couldn't stay with us due to a lot of drilling going on around that he could not stop, had no control over. So
Well, that
It's
is
funny,
wrong.
you just make it sound wrong, like
Yeah.
something that it's not.
hey, I'm not saying what it is, and I'm not saying what it isn't.
Wait,
Now,
just a lot of banging. The neighbors are just playing the Doom soundtrack, just like really loudly. They're trying to summon Jesus.
yes, because that's where I was going with that. Sea of Thieves is
Uh-huh.
getting custom servers soon.
Oh,
Yeah, I found this this morning, but it actually was published again on PC Gamer a day ago. Now, Sea of Thieves has had a roadmap for Sea of Thieves for quite a while, and custom servers have been on there for pretty much as long as they've had the roadmap. Mostly because custom servers are a frequent request. As someone that would play more Sea of Thieves if I didn't have to deal with people constantly trying to.
I say pirates in a game called Sea of Thieves, and well, all pirates, I mean like just raiders, just for the sake of raiding you.
Yeah,
for a laugh.
exactly. Because, you can fly whatever flag. You can fly the, hey, let's form an alliance flag. People will fly that, and even if you join their alliance, they'll screw you over just because. And it just irks me. I would play the game a lot more if I could have my own server. And it seems an alpha is coming in the near future. but they're starting the alpha with select creators and community groups. However, and I love this, it will first be available on the insider program of which I am a member. So obviously,
Me too.
when it comes, I won't be able to discuss it with anyone, but I look forward to that. I really do. The details on what the servers will let you do are slim, incredibly slim.
I also want to ask you something about the servers. Are
Go
these
on.
paid servers or are these just free?
Well,
Do we know that?
at the moment, I'm just looking through just to verify. It doesn't. Yeah, it says they cost no money to run, so they might not be at first. But the downside here is you can set up a custom adventure server, right? So that's not a downside. Like the key features here, of which these are just the slim features that we know: ability to set up a custom adventure server, customization of ship numbers and types prior to starting, and generation of a code to distribute to community members to allow them to join. The downside here that is a key feature is no gold or reputation progression from custom server sessions.
What? The point then?
Yep, exactly. What is the point? Now I'm excited to try it because when you're in the insider program, there's an entire forum that's exclusive to insider people. I will definitely be testing it. I will definitely be going on. I will definitely be going, you need to add progression. Purely because it doesn't matter if that progression is only 1% of the progression that you'd actually make if you played public. There needs to be progression.
Yeah,
because otherwise you're
no
not
point.
going to bring players back. Exactly. There is no
There's
point.
no point.
You need to bring the player base back onto the game. It doesn't matter if they're in custom servers. It's like Elite Dangerous, for example. I don't play public. I can't be bothered with that. I don't want to be griefed by people when I fly from system to system. So I play private, or rather solo. You know, I will play solo or private. It depends if I want to play with friends or not. And I have absolutely no interest in ever going on to the public servers. The only thing that I could do that I don't do is the background simulation thing with the power plays and stuff like that. I don't get involved in that. I don't feel it's my place to get involved in that. There's a very close-knit community that focus a lot on that in Elite Dangerous. So with that in mind, why don't Rare do something similar with these custom servers? Just let us progress just at a much lower rate. I personally, like I say, I personally would be happy with just 1% progression, 1% of what we'd normally make. Just because at least it's progression. I don't mind if it's more of a grind, because I'm only really going to be playing it with friends anyway. I just don't want to have to deal with all the griefers out there.
The thing is, this that really stops you from really wanting to play Sea of Thieves is just the sheer amount of griefers. You can't really go into a server and expecting everyone to be friendly, because there will just be that one guy that will just grief you just because. It doesn't matter if you've just spawned, you're in a slip, they'll still shoot you and kill you just because.
It's alright, guys. It's alright, guys. What we have to do is just wait until they release their Pirates first subscription.
Hey, they're not Bethesda.
And they won't put, you know, a much loved and beloved like armor set behind it. And, you know, the best game in their franchise, which they didn't even make. But that's besides the point.
I would like to correct myself quickly. They haven't settled on a price.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
It's going to be
So-
a purchase from the Pirate Emporium, which is their in-game real money store. Or rather, their in-game store where you buy the currency to buy the stuff.
Yeah.
But
So
they haven't settled on a price.
they're possibly going to be doing paid servers
Yep.
where you can, you know, granted, all custom and stuff like that, but you can't level up. You can't progress.
Yeah,
It just seems like,
correct.
what's the point then?
That seems very like hang on a minute.
Underhanded.
Yeah, shady.
I'm saying,
It's
well, Bethesda was bad. At least Bethesda,
It's-
you know, if you do rent a private server, you can still get stuff, you can still get materials, you can still level up. But these guys are going, that's too much. Even though you're all paying us, that's too much. You can't
Yeah.
make any progression. You have to go
I
and
feel
get griefed.
like I say, I will be testing it when it comes to the insider program. The moment I know it's there, I will be testing it, and I will be telling them you need to allow progression, because otherwise, what's the point?
Especially if you're paying for the server.
Yeah, I just don't. I hope. See, this is a difficult one because if they're not going to add progression ever, then that payment either needs to disappear or be a very cheap one-off payment of like 99p
It has
just
to
to
be
unlock
like,
the ability.
yeah,
because,
just like really
quite
cheap.
frankly, otherwise, just don't do it. They couldn't be bothered to listen to the community, so don't give them the money for it.
Really good at doing that though. Just not bothering listening.
Yeah. But
It seems like such an easy thing to do. It's like, hey, you know, your community
Well-
wants a custom servers, give them custom servers. Okay, put a price tag on it. End of.
well, I will quote. So they put, we are launching early and to a limited audience for multiple reasons. It's a very bare bones feature set, and we want to learn with a limited audience who have already demonstrated drive and creativity in our community. So that's why they're focusing on community things, because all of these people create their own events, and build it out before considering how we bring it to a wider audience. Their other point for this is custom servers cost money to run. Sorry, I read it as cost no money. That's why. Starting small and learning makes sense from a business perspective. With the above point in mind, it's likely that custom servers will eventually be an optional feature that players can access from the Pirate Emporium. We want to learn more about the desired feature set, usage and cost before deciding exactly how to make this something the wider community can access. So I reckon that if they do bring progression there, it will be much later down the line, but even then it won't be until after it has reached that quote-unquote much wider audience, so
Yeah.
after it's gone full public.
Well, let's just hope that they don't have selective hearing. Selective hearing, sorry.
Yeah. Let's just hope like they can, you know, actually listen to the community, you know, and actually either just give us progression or just make it just free, but then you just don't get anything.
Yeah. So I want to go speak to Philip and hear his thoughts on this, because sadly he couldn't be here. But I know that he would definitely have a lot to say that I'm sure we've covered some of anyway. And I think that is about it. That is everything I wanted to bring up. So with that in mind, and with some rather horrifying ideas of tactics that could be had done by Rare, let's hope they don't turn into EA. So my final words before saying goodbye are, fuck EA.
Fuck EA.
Fuck Activision.
Gotta be the different one.
Always got to be different. I will say a goodbye from me. A goodbye from
Toodle
Reese.
pip from me.
A toodle pip.
Yeah, a toodle pip
And I will
from me.
say a goodbye from Philip on his behalf, because he can't be here. We hope to see you next week. Bye.
Toodle pip.
Adios.